Let's get the views now of Senate Energy Committee Chairman Sherwin Gatchalian on the power situation. Senator, thank you so much for joining us. Just listening to the officials from the National Grid Corporation, Beng Abadilla and Cynthia Alabanza, it seems like there is no sense of urgency in the NGCP to be able to fix this problem now, because we have major power issues that a lot of our kababayans are experiencing.
Well, Rico, that's why we had a hearing last April, precisely to anticipate this type of disruptions that can happen in the middle of the pandemic. We have to remember it's a different situation now, Rico, because we're rolling out our vaccines. And this coming June, the bulk of our vaccines will arrive. And what my biggest fear is the brownouts will delay or hamper the rollout of our vaccines. And we're starting to see that, like here in Valenzuela, some of our vaccination centers didn't have electricity earlier. So it took time for us to register our senior citizens, our people who want to get vaccinated. And it took time for them also to go back home because the registration process was done manually. So the victim here is the vaccination rollout. And we need to get something up and running in the next few days.
Well, Senator Win, you know, this is a very tragic situation, this delicate stage in the vaccine rollout, and the economy is not even on full power mode,
right.
And we are experiencing these power interruption. How can't the National Grid Corporation anticipate this problem? Shouldn't they be proactive rather than reactive?
Rico, power is about planning. No? That's why all of this maintenance schedules, all of this repairs of our power plant should be done ahead of time. That's why in our guidelines, all of these plants need to submit their maintenance schedule 1 year ahead. And that's why that's how NGCP can plan their shutdowns and can plan well in managing the grid. But having said that, Rico, in our last hearing last April, we were assured by DOE that blackouts will not happen, especially in the time of pandemic. And that's why we had that hearing, and we kept on asking, not only me, but the other senators kept on asking, will there be blackouts in the next few days or next few months? And we were assured that it will not happen because demand is low. That's what you said earlier. But it did happen. No? And right now, what we need to do is to come up with a short-term measure. And one of the proposals that I'm proposing is to run all the generators of the malls, of the hotel, inject them in the grid so that there's additional powers from the malls. And then in the medium term, form a task force because, like I said, no, the vaccination rollout is the most important activity now happening in the country.
Is this incompetence or what, Senator Gatchalian, from this power agency?
For me, it's poor planning, poor anticipation, poor forecasting, and I think at the end is also incompetence in terms of forecasting. Like I said, no, power is about forecasting and planning. And you have to anticipate all of these things from happening, and especially when you know that vaccines are being rolled out. I have to keep on harping on the vaccines because this is not an ordinary situation. And my biggest fear is it will delay and hamper the herd immunity that we are looking at in the next few months.
Of course, also in the near term, Senator, what also makes it worse, it's inconvenient as well for many employees working from home. Their productivity is affected, and the greater impact on small businesses who are already struggling to survive.
Well, earlier, Rico, when we started our session in the Senate, a few of our senators cannot log in, no? And a few of them were actually joined in later on because they didn't have electricity in their homes. A lot of our senators are working from home because of health reasons. And they couldn't participate in the debates earlier because they didn't have electricity at home. So just imagine everyone who's been mandated to stay at home and work from home. And the other victim here is our online distance learning. Our students are now required to distance learning. Some of them are conducting online learning. And without electricity, how can they power the computers? How can they power their mobile phones? And they're also a victim now of this blackouts.
So Senator, this suggestion of yours for a near-term solution for the power outages, how soon can it be implemented?
This can be implemented very quickly. In fact, they've implemented part of it today, and I think they'll ramp up again in the next few days. This is an old stopgap measure, basically using the generators of shopping malls, of commercial establishments. Especially now, no, a lot of our shopping malls are not operating in full capacity. So in the meantime, operate them, use the power from the generators to augment the lack of power in the grid. Hopefully, it will be enough. But earlier, I heard NGCP say it's 4,000 megawatts went out. If that is the amount of power that disappeared, it's impossible to cover that because that's a huge supply gap in the grid.
Thank you so much for your insights, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian.